What about the situation here with Nick Foles, Kurt? Obviously, you know all about what it would mean for him. What do you think it would mean for him, Kurt?
Well, I mean, first you just look at it on the surface. He would be one of 32 men in the history of our sport to have been a starting quarterback and won the Super Bowl. One of 32 men. But then you go beyond that. Not just does he win the Super Bowl, but he beats the greatest quarterback to ever play our game in the biggest game. And then for me, maybe most importantly is, what does this mean for his future? I mean, we talked, we heard Mark Kriegel talk about the 27-2. And then there was the year and a half, 2 years where we didn't know where Nick Foles was. Now he goes and wins a Super Bowl. What does this mean for his future? Do they see the Super Bowl win, and does he get another opportunity to resurrect his career, another chapter? Or do people weigh the last 2 years more heavily and we see him go back to his backup role, maybe in Philly or somewhere else? I'm just so intrigued to see how this plays out. If he wins, it's going to be a great accomplishment. But what does this mean for his future?
Yeah, that's an exclusive club that you talked about with 32 guys. You're in that, aren't you, Kurt?
I'm in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's out there.
I mean, and it's quite special. And two, not all of those guys, most of them, accelerated their career financially, the whole thing, all right? Some guys won with a great defense, all right, and then maybe didn't get the credit they deserve, and they say, hey, he was a game manager, he had the great defense, surrounded by a good team. But with Nick Foles, his best games are in the playoffs. He's doing things with his arm. So that's a different perception that people will have on this kid, because, hey, he thought about retiring when it didn't work out the first time around in Philadelphia. But you know what? His career is resurrected. He's playing like crazy. If he can play like he did last game, oh my goodness, look out. Now, the Eagles can keep him under contract. $4 million for next year under contract. It'll be interesting to see if he can win it, what they will do with him.
You mentioned it, Coach. If he can play like he played last week, Trent Dilfer, when he won the Super Bowl, I don't know that many things changed because we talk so much
lost his job.
Defense. Right. It changed that way. Yeah. So it changed in a negative way, to be honest with you. In one word, what it means if Nick Foles, if he plays well and win this game, well, 2 words, we'll say great value. Great value for the Eagles if they want to say, wait, we can trade this man again and get us something for him. Great value for him because he's going to get a boatload of money. I know he's under contract. He'll pull off the thing that they just pulled off in Kansas City. Somebody will send him over. He'll get a new deal with the deal, just like Alex Smith just got. This means great value, but he has to make sure he makes those throws like he made last week. That 53-yard touchdown, that 41-yard touchdown. What did we say, Kurt? We was like, well, those were some throws. People have to see that on film in this game today, and with the win, it will be great value for him.
A lot of value, and I'm listening to everybody saying, for me, it's life-changing. For a guy who you mentioned it, Mooch, is contemplated retirement. A guy who didn't love the game or lost his game or didn't know if he wanted to play the game. Only going into his 6th start of the season, going back to this team, regardless of how well you play, if you beat the great Tom Brady and this team and you knock them off their throne, you're still not going to be the starting quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles because they have their guy. So this is an opportunity and a platform for Nick Foles to go forward and say, there's a lot of other teams out there. I love the game. I've realized that this is where I need to be. I know it's probably not going to be here, but if I play at a certain level, I got another opportunity at being the guy possibly somewhere else.
Right, and again, he beating the guy who was the last quarterback to win a Super Bowl despite being the backup in week 1 of that very season. Tom Brady was the last such person to do it.